Hello and welcome to South Asia Today, a show that provides you the glimpse of South Asia. I'm your host Shivangi Mishra. Here are the headlines. India's hospitality sector reviving steadily post-COVID-19. Nepal preserves mural of esoteric Buddhist god. And married Indian women observe Karwa Chauth fast. Let's begin the show. The hospitality sector in India is reviving post-COVID-19 pandemic. After a serious hit during the pandemic, the industry is now taking an upward slope. Take a look.
The global hotel industry was severely harmed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Strict travel restrictions imposed by countries trying to curb the spread of COVID had a significant impact on supply chains and income for hotels, restaurants, travel, and other leisure activities. After a 2-year slump, the sector is gradually returning to pre-pandemic levels. The Indian hospitality industry has particularly accelerated with the government's renewed push to bring attention to the country's underexplored diverse ecosystem, vast heritage, and culture. India's Ministry of Tourism laid emphasis on promotion of domestic tourism and launched the Dekho Apna Desh initiative. The ministry also announced various fiscal relief measures to revive the tourism sector after the pandemic. The government's initiatives to revive domestic tourism have resulted in record tourist footfall in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. According to the information and public relations of the J&K government, around 16.2 million tourists have visited the region since January this year.
We've had so many tourists from different parts of the country internationally coming into Kashmir this year. I think it's wonderful to see so many tourists coming here, enjoying everything. We've ensured that these tourists get the best of facilities, and our major tourism players have played a major role in this.
Many other Indian states are too experiencing an upsurge in the number of visitors and travelers. For example, the number of tourists in Goa has exceeded pre-COVID levels since September of 2021.
Goa is with the full bang, with the open arms, welcoming tourists back into Goa. It may be a charter tourists, or it may be a foreign tourist coming on the FIT, or domestic tourists, which Goa they have made as their first destination, India, that as our Chief Minister calls it, tourism capital of India.
According to the Investment Information and Credit Rating Agency, the Indian hotel industry started off on a promising note this fiscal year, with the country's luxury hotels registering 56 to 58% occupancy in the first quarter, even though it was not peak travel season. Centrally supported initiatives like the National Strategy for Sustainable Tourism and Responsible Traveler campaign and the National Integrated Database of Hospitality Industry have made travel and tourism even more organized and accessible. Leaders in the tourism industry have been extremely pleased with the government's active response during and in the aftermath of the pandemic.
Indian hospitality industry has enjoyed moderate growth over the past couple of years, but there's certainly some great potential that lies ahead. This is a nation that is rich in culture and diversity. The World Economic Forum ranked India in its Tourism Competitive Index 65th in 2013, and it has grown to 34th in 2019. And now that the recovery is well and truly underway, I am sure that this number will rise in the future.
The India Brand Equity Foundation, IBEF, predicts that the Indian travel market will grow to $125 billion USD in the 2027 to 2028 fiscal year. Despite the initial slowdown with the COVID-19 pandemic, the sector's growth outlook is positive, with revenues on a sharp upward trajectory. With a focus on the country's rich heritage, planned expansion, and steady rise in hospitality standards, India has loudly announced to people around the world that no matter where you are, India is ready to welcome you.
Moving on. Artisans have been spending months for preparing of the Buddhist tantric deity named Chakrasambhara in Nepal's Lalitpur city. In mural, Chakrasambhara, an esoteric deity, is embracing his yogini consort Vajravahari, who is considered an esoteric deity by Vajrayana practitioners. Have a look. These artists have been spending months preparing the painting of the Buddhist tantric deity Chakrasambhara, the last wish of Nepal's famed historian and yoga purush Satya Mohan Joshi. 6 artists are meticulously painting a 22 by 5.5 feet Pauba of Chakrasambhara, a powerful deity of Buddhism, immensely popular in Tibet and Mongolia along with Nepal. The artists are working from dawn to dusk to prepare a piece of art that is about to become extinct and would be representative of Nepal's indigenous art traditions, practices and methods. In the mural, Chakrasambhara, an historic deity, is embracing the yogini consort Vajravahari, who is considered an historic deity by Vajrayana practitioners.
यो पेन्टिङ ओरिजिनल्ली चाहिँ हाम्रो वाल पेन्टिङ गर्ने टार्गेट थियो सत्यमोहन सरको रिक्वेस्टबाट चाहिँ तर लङ टर्म टिकोस् यो भूकम्प त्यस्तोबाट चाहिँ क्षतिग्रस्त नहोस् भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ हामीले यो पेन्टिङलाई चाहिँ वालमा नगरिकन म्युरल त म्युरल नै भयो तर वालमा नगरिकन चाहिँ बोर्डमा क्यानभास टाँसेर ट्रेडिसनल मेथडबाट क्यानभास खोलेर प्रिपेयर गरेँ त्यसपछि कलर पनि हाम्रो देख्न सक्नुहुन्छ त्यो पनि ट्रेडिसनल मेथडबाट नेचुरल कलरको पिगमेन्ट्सहरू युज गरेर नै हामीले यो पेन्टिङ चाहिँ सकाउने ट्राई गर्दैछौँ सो गत 5 महिनादेखि हाम्रो यसमा ड्रइङ सुरु भएदेखिको गत 5 महिनादेखि काम भइरहेछ.
In the mural that expands from one side of the canvas to the other, covering one part of the wall facing against the window, in the center lies a painting of Chakrasambhara. The artists have brought in other family members of the deity to make it more lively and informative. It is believed that the mural of the esoteric deity Chakrasambhara is understood only by those who have received Dekha, an historic initiation, who can enter the chamber of the deity to worship it. Experts on Buddhism say Chakrasambhara represents a philosophy in Tantric Buddhism that is bereft of duality and represents enlightened knowledge.
यसमा चाहिँ सबै यो कलर चाहिँ सबै नेचुरल कलरै हो. हाम्रो यो नेचुरल कलर भनेको पहिलादेखि नै 13औं शताब्दीदेखि नै सुरु भएको जस चित्रकारहरूले नै युज गर्ने चाहिँ कलर हो. अर्को यो हाम्रो एक्रिलिक कलर पोस्टर कलर जस्तो चाहिँ हैन. यो चाहिँ नेचुरल सुरु पहिलादेखि नै अब चित्रकारहरूले भित्तामा हाम्रो यो पौवाहरू बनाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ राख्ने चाहिँ यो सबै चाहिँ अनि स्टोन कलरहरू. यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो पहेँलोमा चाहिँ हरिताल अर्पिमेन्ट भयो अनि रातोमा सिमरिक अनि ग्रीन कलर हरियोमा चाहिँ मालाकाइट, ब्लू कलरमा चाहिँ इन्डिको अनि ब्ल्याकमा चाहिँ हाम्रो यो गाजर लगाइन्छ नि त्यही हो भने चाहिँ व्हाइट चाहिँ सेल पाउडरको युज हुन्छ.
The mural is expected to incur an expenditure of about 4.23 million Nepali rupees upon its completion. The project has so far collected 25% of the estimated required budget. Now let's take a look at a few happenings in Asia in a segment called Asia Watch.
Iraqi children return to school full-time for this academic year for the first time since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic following full closures and inconsistent reopenings. This came as a relief to many students, educators and parents who voiced concerns over what they perceived as a loss of educational attainment due to online learning. According to a report by World Vision published this year, school closures in Iraq, which span over 63 weeks, were amongst the longest around the world. Furthermore, school reopenings have been inconsistent. This has left up to 7.4 million children without access to education due to limited computer ownership, access to the internet, and poor connectivity, the report said, impacting their educational attainment and development. Berlin's Brandenburg Gate was among the monuments and buildings illuminated as part of the city's annual Festival of Lights. Due to the Europe-wide energy crisis, the festival has reduced the amount of illuminated venues from 60 to 35 compared to last year. According to the organizers, the festival will also use 75% less electricity. Germany has enacted various energy-saving measures to combat potential energy shortages in the upcoming winter, including banning the illuminating of public buildings. The festival's theme was Vision of Our Future. Japanese firm Shimizu Corporation introduced a jack-up vessel named Blue Wind. It builds big windmills that produces electricity. The total cost of shipbuilding is $347 million. To celebrate the completion of its manufacturing and pray for its safety, a Japanese ceremony named Shinto was organized by the firm. At the end of the ceremony, a holy sacrament was also distributed to all the people. This vessel is 500 meter wide, 142 meter long, and has a capacity of 28,000 tons. It is capable of carrying both large and heavy cargo. It prepares a big crane to guarantee the building of a big windmill regardless of the climate or marine conditions. Additionally, it sails by itself without the help of a towing boat. This jack-up vessel has a huge challenge of building a big windmill at the coast of Toyoyama Prefecture in Japan by March 2023. Next year in December 2023, it will construct 14 biggest windmills at Ishikawa Bay at Hokkaido. It has generating capacity of 112 megawatts. Shimizu Corporation investigated most convenient jack-up vessel to build big windmill, cost performance in short term, overcoming bad condition on the sea. All these efforts are being made in order to contribute towards environmental conservation, and this vessel is capable of working not only in Japan but all over Asia and the world. Kyoto is an old city in Japan which is a famous sightseeing and is visited by a number of tourists throughout the year. However, the tourist footfall in the city shrunk due to the coronavirus pandemic. However, after months-long curbs, the restrictions for foreign tourists have been eased now. Recently, a Tourism Expo Japan 2022 was organized in the city where travel agencies and local tourism organizations put up their stalls to tell the audiences about their services. The travel and tourism industries of Japan are all set for a revival. Airline, transportation company, travel agency, hotel company, and foreign tourist office are participating to show off their attractions. The travel industry has high expectation for post-corona era. JTB is the biggest travel agency with 110-year history and has contributed to the Japanese travel industry. It has introduced the charm of Japanese tourism to the world. The global travel industry is looking forward to a business revival. The trip with a new idea is expected to regain foreign tourists by spreading the hidden charm of Japan. Different airlines, transportation firms, travel agencies, and hotels participated in the exhibition to convey the stories of their services. The global tourism industry is reviving slowly and steadily after the pandemic crunch.
Resentment is at an all-time high among the sub-engineers of the Public Works Department in the illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. Calling out the government's discrimination, they said while the people at identical positions in other parts of Pakistan were receiving promotions and benefits, their positions remained stagnant for years. They want the authorities to expeditiously comply with their demands or face a walkout. We have a report.
The stagnation of posts and discrimination of grades between people of illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan and other provinces of Pakistan have become a major issue. They complain that the government deliberately denies them their rights and remuneration, and with the corrupt system, they have no choice but to take to the streets. These employees are sub-engineers from the Public Works Department, and they claim that they have not received promotions for years, while engineers in other provinces of Pakistan have been recruited at an already superior grade 14.
ग्रेवेंसेस तो हमारे बहुत ही ज़्यादा हैं, उनमें तो आए दिन ज़्यादतियाँ होती हैं। उसके अलावा रही बात यह है कि 33% का जो कोटा है, वो कोटा आज से तकरीबन कोई 8 साल पहले हमें वो दिया गया है 33%, उसमें हमारे बरादरी आई है। लेकिन अफसोस की बात यह है कि पूरे पाकिस्तान में तकरीबन सब इंजीनियर का जो ग्रेड है वो 14 चला रहा इनिशियल, लेकिन गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में आज तक इसको चेंज नहीं किया है और ये 11 में ही धकेल रहे हैं। इसलिए हमारी गवर्नमेंट से ये रिक्वेस्ट होगी और हम अब ये कर रहे हैं कि वो हमारा जो इनिशियल ग्रेड है उसको 14 करें।
Sub-engineers who have primarily been placed in the works departments of the region have been marginalized, and the authorities have not treated them at par with the employees of other provinces of Pakistan. The same could be seen in the technical allowances given to the employees. According to those working there, the technical allowance should be given to everyone who does the technical work. Corruption is widespread, and the unscrupulous leaders seem least bothered to alter the status quo.
उन्होंने जो टेक्निकल अलाउंस दिया वो 17 तक दिया और वो BSc इंजीनियर तक, लेकिन हमारी सूबाई असम्बली ने उसको दोबारा रिव्यू करके 17 के चाहे वो डिप्लोमा है B.Tech है उनको दिया, लेकिन लफ्ज़ टेक्निकल अलाउंस जो है वो टेक्निकल टीम को मिलता है, चाहे उसमें हमारे प्लम्बर हों, इलेक्ट्रीशियन हो, लाइनमैन हो, चाहे जो भी हमारे हजरात हैं उनसे लेकर जो भी टेक्निकल काम करते हैं उन सबको ये टेक्निकल अलाउंस मिलना चाहिए। इसकी भी इंशाल्लाह हम इकरारात पेश करके सूबाई असम्बली में पेश करेंगे और वहाँ से इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद है कि वो मंजूरी है।
People in Gilgit-Baltistan have been under Pakistani rule since 1947. However, the fact is that they have been relegated to the status of second-class socio-economic citizens.
India is a country of various festivals and rituals. From north to south, east to west, there are a number of festivals. One of the major and significant festivals celebrated in the country is Karwa Chauth. It is a holy fast where married women seek the blessings of Lord Shiva's wife Parvati. On this occasion, the married women observe a rigorous day-long fast for the longevity of their spouses. Have a look.
Wearing traditional colourful attires, married women across India mark the most auspicious Karwa Chauth festivities observed for the long life of their husbands. Karwa Chauth, a holy fast, falls on the 4th day of the Hindu month of Kartik. On this auspicious occasion, women worship the Hindu god Shiva's wife Parvati. The festival is marked annually with women observing a day-long fast without water or food and praying for the long life and happiness of their husbands. Women throng to markets as they shop for beautiful bangles and put henna on their hands. Then they gather together and offer prayers to Goddess Parvati, listen to folk tales and decorate their karwas and puja thali with all things symbolizing a happily married life. This holy fast brings peace, happiness and joy into their married life.
ये व्रत जो है करवा चौथ है, हस्बैंड के लिए लंबी उम्र के लिए रहा जाता है और हम भी फर्स्ट टाइम रहेंगे अपनी पति की लंबी उम्र के लिए और जो है उसी पर्पस से आज मैंने मेहंदी लगवाई है.
As per the belief, anyone who worships Lord Shiva with a whole heart gets all their desires fulfilled. The holy fast starts from dawn, where women eat sargi, a meal prepared by their mother-in-law in the morning. The mornings are usually spent in community gatherings and offering prayers.
सोचने में तो बहुत मुश्किल लगता है, लेकिन जब हम व्रत रखते हैं इतना टफ नहीं लगता है. जब हम सोचते हैं एक व्रत रखने से हम मेरे पति की उम्र लंबी होती है, तो एक काइंड ऑफ सेलिब्रेशन जैसा ही लगता है.
In the evening, they break their fast at the time of moonrise with a glass of water and some dry fruits. Pregnant women and those who are sick are often advised to avoid fasting. Unmarried women too observe a fast for a suitable life partner. The fasting is extremely strict as the moon is considered to be the most important celestial body. Even this Karwa Chauth fast is a celebration of love, marriage and the unbreakable bond shared between a husband and wife.
It's time for me to wrap up today's episode. We will be back next week at the same time. This is Shivangi Mishra, signing off on the behalf of the entire production team of South Asia Today. Goodbye and take care.